Hey guys, what's going on? How's it? Hey guys. Yeah, welcome. It is the third episode in our little weekly MMD chat that myself and my compadre Alec of Draconem Media and Records are doing. And today we have a special guest all the way from PE via the interweb. We have, well, what is the best way to kind of explain him? He's a musical savant, a one-man band, a man of many opinions, mostly his own, and yeah, just a general like all-around like rocking metalhead, like trying to represent up in the small town of PE. So yeah, welcome Shaun of Denver and Risen. How's it going, man?
Yeah, thanks, guys. Yeah, guys, thanks for having me. This is great. Really, gonna enjoy this, man. Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people actually know this, but this is actually the first time that you and I have actually spoken kind of face to face. So this is actually a little bit of a moment for us here. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's like a milestone in our relationship, man. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
You guys need a room.
Let's take it to the next. Take it to the next level.
We've got three rooms going. Yeah, you can pick any one.
Yeah, we'll go drop it. Let's go drop the third screen, Alec. It'll just be me and Shaun from now on. No, but yeah. Let's actually start with you, Shaun. How things down there in PE? Obviously, we're all South Africa's still all in lockdown. How are things going there with the whole COVID issue?
Yeah, man. It's I suppose it's the same like then. Cape Town. It's getting a bit hectic now. So more people are testing positive. Cases are just growing like crazy now, and where I work in a laboratory. So yeah, we're seeing those. We just witness it pretty much every day. I have been on leave, thank goodness, but I'm going back to the chaos next week. So yeah, it's gonna be a rough one, a rough ride. So yeah.
Has there been a lot of issues with people overreacting, or have these actually been like cases that have been coming in, or just people playing on the side of caution? Because
yeah, I think it's also a lot of
about it. I mean, obviously, we know here in Cape Town. No, it's fine.
Yeah.
I was going to say we're here in Cape Town. We're dealing with like quite a spike of cases, and a lot of our hospitals are already starting to reach capacity. I've seen a few clips from PE where it also looks like the labs and the hospitals are filling up quite a bit. So,
yeah, they are reaching now like sort of max capacity now. So but yeah, most of the times people coming for testing is actually due to our other winter sort of things that we have, other little flus and colds and whatever, and any one of those symptoms is gonna cause people to be a bit, which is times as well company all their people in for a test. So it's just a bit rough at the moment. But I think people just stick to what they need to do: wash hands, wear their mask, keep their distance, and we're fine. And there's no problem.
Yeah, and up in Joburg, Alec, how things going there?
Bro, I'm keeping to myself as much as possible. Like, honestly, I'm lucky that I can work from home. So, and Chelsea can as well. So we basically trying to not leave the house at all, just be isolated, treat it as if it's like a proper apocalypse. Humanity is not great anyway, so we've not really liked people.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of the only way we can go. Yeah, it works to our advantage, which kind of brings me to the first question for you, Shaun. Obviously, we said that you're a one-man band essentially. From in your opinion, what are the more challenging aspects in composing and writing all your own music?
Yeah, I think it's just where to start, I suppose. it usually, and you won't believe this, but it usually just starts with just a typical jam session. You know, I'll just pick up a guitar, put on like a drum beat, and then start jamming with it. And then I'll be like, whoa, okay, that's a cool riff. And then I'll just start building on that, you know. So, yeah, I'll just keep on building and building, and then later on come back to it maybe a day or two afterwards and have a listen again and say, I could maybe change that part there, do something better there, you know, take it out and re-record. So yeah, process is ongoing constantly. Sometimes my songs just sound way different to how they started. So yeah, when it comes to writing lyrics and vocals, that's where I sort of hit a speed bump, you know. It's just I don't want the lyrics to sound lame and stuff like that. So that's where, yeah, that's where it slows down a bit. But writing process, I must say, I suppose just being a one-man band, it makes it a little bit easier that way because I know what I want and I just go with it. I've been in bands, in band rooms where everybody's opinions and stuff flies like crazy, and then trying to sort of just settle on one idea can be a bit hectic. So yeah, it's easier that way. So I quite enjoy it. So yeah, that's how I think it goes.
I think you touched on quite a key point.
If you were part of a band, oh yeah, yes, yeah, go for it, Alec. Better point, no doubt.
You touched on quite a key point, right? I know that you were quite an active member in the Bloemfontein metal scene. I was wondering if you could maybe talk us through like some of the performing bands you've been in and maybe how they've influenced your taste and how they've influenced your writing process, and yeah, maybe just talk us through like your experience from newbie metal musician to where you are now, you know?
Yeah. No, yeah, I've been in quite a few Bloem bands. Yeah, and with each one of them, I just learned something more because Dead Man Risen's actually been around. It was like a sort of a side thing, you know, that I just had, that I just, you know, used to just learn how to record and sort of, you know, learn software and all that type of stuff. But I was still in bands. I wasn't a really great musician. Still, guitar skills still lack a bit at the moment. That's why I just play straightforward stuff. But yeah, with each band, I felt I got better. I learned something from that band and then move on, you know. I was in Dreams of Nightmares, great Bloemfontein band as well. I only did about 2 shows with them. Those 2 shows were great. Really, it's a lot of fun. We practice quite a lot, so maybe that's where I honed my skills a bit more on the guitar and vocals. So I really appreciate, you know, their contribution to helping me with getting better in my craft. And then I also played with Priest Killer for just a little bit before moving to PE. I was also in a couple of bands, or like another band, just a more funk type of band. That was also quite great. So yeah, from each thing, I just took a little bit from each band and just put it together, and that's probably what we've got today with Dead Man Risen. You know, it's just that's probably the sound I've been working on and taking influences from everyone that I've been playing with and just put it together. And that's probably why it sounds different. You're not always getting what you expect, you know. So maybe that's why. Yeah.
Well, actually, that kind of brings me to the next point. Yes, salute to everybody here on this Sunday night watching it. Next question. There we go. Got your thinking cap on now. Yeah. All right. So obviously, we've been talking about how you've changed your sound a lot. You just recently did a audio track, a little preview, a little tidbit, if you will, of what's to come from the new album, the single Hand of Hate, which is up on YouTube now. In case any of you guys haven't seen it, go check it out. But it kind of shows yet another shade of grey, if you will, in the Dead Man Risen sound. I mean, this time you actually even implemented some clean vocals, which could be one of the first times I think I've actually heard something like that in a recorded capacity. Tell me, the next album, which is obviously under construction, what can listeners expect musically this time?
Well, yeah, they're going to expect something totally different because obviously a previous album, Senseless Hollow, was more of a melodic, doomy type of thing. This time, I just wanted to do something different and unique, and you'll hear it. Everything is sounding quite unique, and it's very different. A lot of, I think, with the clean vocals, because I'm a big fan of I'm a big fan of all genres of metal. But some metal that stands out to me is like new metal. And that's where those cleans start coming in. And I've always wanted to sing as well. You know, I just want to have a variation with vocals and vocal patterns and whatever. I don't want the same thing over and over again, you know. So that's what I love in music. I just love a band that comes out and it just blows you away. And you're like, wow, I didn't expect that, you know. Many times you've got a lot of bands that they're great, but they do follow sort of a structure. They follow, if it's death metal, it's death metal. If it's melodic death, it's melodic death. If it's, you know, slam, it's slam. It's, you know, the list goes on. But for me, I just want to throw everything together, you know. Whatever I'm listening to at the time, you know, like say Cattle Decapitation, or even say some like immortal black metal, you know, I just want to take those two elements and just like put it together and see what happens. And that's what I love. And I love bands that do that. I love a lot of metal bands that just, you know, just experiment a little bit and just try something different. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, like you and Lyle pointed out, you went for some new takes of vocal styles in The Hands of Hate. And it's a cool track, by the way. Good job on that. I think the next question is more along the lines of, we can hear some of your musical influences, and you touched on the fact that you like new metal as well. I was wondering if you could like almost point fingers or name who your like vocal influences are, like in terms of like styles and maybe lyrical themes. Who do you enjoy as vocalists?
Yeah, well, my number one guy is Jonathan Davis from Korn. I've always been a massive Korn fan ever since I was, you know, a teenager. His range and his singing style and what he writes about really hits home. When I was growing up as a teenager, I had a lot of like emotional issues and shit like that. And listening to Korn was just my outlet, you know. And I think that band has been an outlet for so many. And yeah, he definitely stands out. Another one of recent times is Travis Ryan of Cattle Decapitation. It is just absolutely crazy with his vocals, you know, what he can do and how he just twists it and how he just manipulates it to do what he wants it to do. I think that's brilliant. I love vocalists that just, you know, go beyond their borders and their boundaries just to see what they can do, you know. For like Travis, just to be able to manipulate his voice and do this funny, screechy, singy type of thing that he does is so unique, and it just gives the band like its own uniqueness and its own sort of style. And that's what I'm trying now as well. I'm just trying to sort of get Dead Man Risen to a point where people hear it, they know, okay, that's Dead Man Risen, you know. Trying to be unique in a way without, you know, sounding lame or anything like that, or trying something stupid. But yeah, maybe the stupidity is what will propel it forward. So yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Yeah, those two stand out for me a lot. So yeah.
I guess you guys have always been kind of lucky by being in an underground genre that you can pretty much go and do whatever you want. You know, be a little bit creative, like you say, what Cattle Decapitation have done now. I mean, their new album has taken them to like the next level. People now literally like refer to like goblin type type growling, and you interrelate with Travis, which is kind of hard in this subgenres, you know, to be able to actually be that different and yet still actually fitting with tech death and grindcore and those like. So yeah, definitely some big things when it comes to that to always take it in consideration. John Davies' own solo project also fantastic, like you said. It's just really like I feel like Korn, even in their later part of their career, have really been able to pull themselves together. I mean, they always were a grandstanding band, but I'm unapologetically would say that I lost interest in them for a good 10, 12 years. But especially their last album, you can feel all that angst and rage and all that, you know, it's there. It's there. It's what people wanted. And I mean, even to a certain extent with bands like Slipknot, again, it's just, we're in a time now where music is just, it's such a gray area. Music is so subjective and there's so much of it coming out constantly. I guess all of yourself and Alec included, all you guys can really do as musicians is try be genuine and true to yourself, because it's just, it's all you got really at the end of the day, you know. I was gonna say, this is kind of a question that both of you can kind of answer. Perhaps Alex, you can answer first. What's the longest it's taken to finish a track and why?
From my side, generally it's like if I'm like working on a track with somebody else, I kind of find that's why I do a lot of solo stuff, is like having someone else in the process, especially like a full band, it can like draw, it can take a track much longer than if I was just like, cool, I like it, and I'm the one that makes that final call. Especially in the case of like a lot of band members can be non-responsive, and you're like, I want this done now, and then no response, and then you get a final master, and then someone complains about something, and you're like, but you had a deadline. So I guess, yeah, like generally when I cooperate with someone, then it takes longer. I think the longest track that I've caused the problem with has been an Abhorrent Anomaly track, which I wrote like 4 years ago, and then didn't have any, Reno recorded all the guitar parts, and I didn't really have any inspiration for the lyrics, and basically the song still hasn't been released. I just hit a major roadblock with that track, and I was just like, I don't know what to do. I actually, on that note, that track's going to be released relatively soon. The vocalist Demon Stealer actually did the guest vocals on that. So I wrote the guitars, and so did Reno. We like back and forth in Guitar Pro, and then he recorded everything, and we got someone else to record the vocals, and I'm like, cool.
Great. Hey, you know, it worked out. Similar to the Helica, you know, it's just, it like, unfortunately, quality takes time, you know, that's kind of how it goes. But yeah, I guess same question to you, Shaun. Longest it's taken to finish a track, because it's pretty well known around the local metal scene that you're a pretty fast moving artist when it comes to material. Sometimes things come. So what's the longest it's taken on a track?
Yeah, well, these tracks that I'm busy with now for this latest album is definitely the one that's gonna they're taking the longest, man. I've re-recorded them I don't know how many times. I'm quite sick and tired of it, you know, because I get to a point where I'm just like, maybe it sounds better in this tuning. Let me try that. Then I'll listen to a band and be like, they're playing in flipping low tuning. It sounds heavy as balls, you know. And then I'm just like, okay, let me try that tuning, you know. And then I'm like, after a while, fuck no, I need to change it again, you know. So at least now everything, because I've already released one track, so everything's now in the right tuning. But it can take a while, man. One of the tracks that is on the album called Sadistic Anomaly, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, whatever. Yeah, there, Alec. Yeah, anyway, yeah. So, yeah, Sadistic Anomaly. That's been around since the Petrichor album. So, I was going to release it on that album, and then I decided not to. And then I sort of re-looked at, had another look at it, and I was just like, okay, it's going on this album. And I reworked it, changed it up quite a bit, and yeah, and I think you're gonna enjoy it. So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Nice, nice. Yeah, well, I mean, that was the one thing. The Petrichor, compared to, let's say, the Vampire album, for example. I mean, obviously, Hand of Hate takes a lot more of an industrial, almost a hybrid between like Melo-Death and industrial at the moment. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that musically, this track that was left out off Petrichor should, musically work with it. Obviously, you probably learned a few new tricks since that album also, so be interesting to. Well, obviously, yeah, like a lot of people, or maybe not many people actually know, but PE actually does have quite a stable of like metal talent. Like for some reason, there's like, I mean, we know Duncan of Volvadinia now stays out there. Your homies out at Monolith basically all stay out there. Tommy, post lockdown, what are your thoughts on the local metal scene up in PE moving forward? How do you think the town's going to bounce back? I mean, how the club's going to react, or how the club's been during this time? Have you heard anything, etc.?
Yeah. Well, I haven't heard much. I don't think anything is happening at this moment. I don't know what. Sorry, I was just clicking something. So I don't know what the guys have been doing. Like, say, from Monolith, I'm pretty good friends with them. We keep in contact quite a lot. I don't know if they're up to something. Actually, I haven't asked. I should, maybe be a good friend and just,
I'm pretty sure we'll have one. I'm pretty sure we'll have one or two of the guys on, hopefully in a future episodes, so we'll pick their brain.
But I know for a fact that everyone is definitely itching to get out there and get back on stage. And we've had some pretty cool, epic, shows here, especially when Forsaking Fate, again, when going nudge, nudge, to Alec, when they come down from East London, and then obviously Alec from Joburg, come down this way, and then it's a real flipping ball, So, we've had some good gigs. We've even had Deadline down here, and that was just absolutely brilliant, So, the scene. It's small. There's not a lot. The turnout is not usually that big, but I think if we just keep on pushing, and there's more and more guys popping up and playing in bands now, and we just keep on going. So hopefully, after this whole lockdown and after the virus is buggered off, then we can just get back to business again, So it's a decent one, and I think the guys are just totally rearing up to go, So yeah.
So to follow up on that, I don't know if you want
to. Oh, great! Yeah.
Keep out that corona.
Yeah, that's It's COVID.
Follow up from that, you're obviously a solo project, and live performance at this stage, hint, hint, is a bit difficult. Do you have any desire or plans to eventually play DMR stuff live, or do you have any other projects that you can sort of tell us about that might end up being live? Because I'm sure you miss the whole performance part of being in a band. Not the band politics so much, but the actual being on stage in front of the people going crazy,
Yeah, no, I'm definitely, I definitely would love to get back on stage again. I think with Dead Man Risen stuff, it's also, I think it would be pretty damn cool, A lot of people have asked me the same question. Like you say, with band politics, yeah, I think I can like really push people's buttons a bit, you know. So I don't know. Guys have to be sort of. I'm never, you know, unreasonable or anything like that. It's just I know what works type of thing, you know. But yeah, and music's like I love it. It's my passion. But at the same time, it's like, you know, get down to business. Let's get this thing going, you know. And so yeah, that's definitely. Yeah, it's definitely a thing that I would think maybe is in the pipeline. I just need the right guys, maybe with the right mindset, on the same level as me. And yeah, and other projects, no, nothing really, nothing sort of local or whatever. I've done a couple of things with a couple of people locally. You know, me and Chris from Monolith are also working on something. Yeah, maybe that's something that could go further. We would like to make it a sort of a three-piece, you know, death metal, straightforward death metal band, you know, something maybe on the long lines of like Dying Fetus, Cannibal Corpse type of thing. So that could be something in the pipeline in the future. I just want to get this album done, and then we're probably going to jump into that and see how that goes. So yeah, no, there's definitely some things that are coming, so we'll see what happens. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, I know listeners are probably waiting with bated breath for the new material. So as long as you keep churning it out, I'm sure people will keep listening. And I mean, obviously, this kind of ties in with the whole thing of maybe doing a whole little mini CD run in the future. If people don't know, they must go check out the Draconem Media site on Teespring. We'll actually include a link in the description of this video so that people can go check it out, because there's actually a killer Dead Man Risen t-shirt there available for people to grab. So yeah, we're keeping things legit. So who knows what the future holds, but yes, if you guys are keen, go show a little bit of love, show a bit of support to your favorite bands and labels, and yeah. But yeah, it looks like we're reaching the top of the hour, so to speak. Probably ready to grab our proverbial saddles and go off into the sunset. So yeah, Shaun, any last words or thoughts? What do people have to look forward to? Do we get people excited on the new album this year, or is it something that should be tethering around the 2021 time? Hello. Like, is this it?
Do we lose you, Shaun?
I think we did.
Shaun?
I think we did. Okay, that might be the end of the conversation.
Oh, no, he's rejoining. Shaun, I think we lost you there for a second. Can you hear us now?
Hello.
Yeah, I'm back now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lyle's just asking you.
So now you see my bald spot.
That's the whole call.
The final. This is a Dead Man Risen final form.
Yeah. So I think just your closing thoughts on your new album, whether you predict it coming out this year or next year, and what can people expect, you know?
Yeah, well, I can definitely say it's this year. I'm probably 80% done now. So I've just got 2 tracks to complete. Yeah, and what people can expect is something, like I said, definitely different to what I've been doing. Definitely more experimental. Definitely, obviously, with the vocal range. Yeah, and yeah, so yeah, I expect something different, something that they will question. I think that's maybe how I can sum it up. They'll question it. So we'll see how it goes. And yeah, definitely this year, man. I'm not going to say,
Well,
you know,
let's not commit
exactly
to a date yet, but that's it. That's good news. Well, yeah, Shaun, thanks so much for joining us. Alec, thanks for putting this together again. We'll hopefully be back next week we'll look and see what interesting guests we can get. But as far as this Sunday goes, this has been really great, Shaun. It's been great getting to chat face to
thanks, guys.
face.
This is awesome.
And yeah, you guys both just keep blasting it, keep working on the tunes, and yeah, we'll keep listening.
Sweet.
Awesome, guys. Thanks for tuning in.